Vonesper, and this is a song about ghosts. You can't kill the ghost of 2117. Check yourself and let me free. Session versus reality. Every rule of every protect yourself and follow me. This might be better on me. Nothing about this stuff here saying it's right to myself. My name should never go. Nothing else I must invent. Sitting there, I see your skin, I feel your sting.
Hello.
Up here on this stage,
Well, it's me, Kevin Vonesper. Is it me? Do you recognize me? I don't know if I recognize myself. So I got all my hair chopped off the other day, so now I'm a little bit, I don't know, it's weird because whenever I get a haircut, the thing that gets me most is I can't headbang anymore and all my hair is all flowy. But I hope it looks nice. How is everybody out there? Today we have a great show with what I call one of the goats of nightlife and entertainment in general. Velvetina Taylor is here. How are you all doing? Drop a comment if you're here. Say hello. What did I do this week? I saw Praxis, a band that consisted of Buckethead, Brain, and Bill Laswell. Twice, 2 nights in a row. The first time they performed in 16 years and could be their last ever. So it was a very special show. Buckethead, you know, we love Buckethead on this channel. We had Maximum Bob from the Deli Creeps on this show a couple weeks ago. Go and check it out. Oh yes, what else? We learned last week that we could get our show suspended right in the middle of doing it if we are showing Slipknot videos. So yes, now I'm going to try to monitor the show to make sure that doesn't happen. But that was a lesson learned. Thank you, YouTube. But what I learned is if it happens, we come right back. So just if we drop out and it says that our show is suspended, just hang out and it should fix itself in a few minutes. What's another thing I keep trying to... One thing I always forget every every episode is you see I have this background image. It's kind of like a picture frame. Oh, I can't see it in this view. Whoops. Anyways, if any artists or graphic designers are out there want to design me a custom frame for this show, it's video dimensions, I think, 1080 by whatever. Hit me up. Let me know. And I think we should get to the show. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, Velvetina Taylor. All right, we're going to bring her right in. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Greetings from Memphis.
Yes, I was going to say, where are you? How are you? What are you?
I'm at my apartment in Midtown Memphis. I moved here about a year and a half ago after years in New York. But
yeah, that's where we met. We're going to go all into that history.
Yes.
Yes, you were known as well, let's start here. Let's go way back. Like, what's your origin story and like how did you make it to New York and when and
okay, so I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana originally. I graduated high school when I was 17 and I moved right away to go to film school. But then I switched to music business school.
Oh.
Yes. And then in that time, I also taught ballroom and Latin dancing in Queens for a while. And then
Queens. So wait.
Yes.
When did you move to New York? Did I miss that?
2006.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was 17.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
So then I left for a couple of years and I went to grad school in Dublin, Ireland to be a librarian.
This is all news to me. I didn't know how educated you were.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you were smart, but I didn't know how high, like, damn.
Yeah, I have a master's degree, but it hasn't really come into play in my current occupation.
Right. What was your master's in?
It was in library and information studies.
So the Dewey Decimal System very well?
That's the first thing that people always ask, but that's not even something they covered.
Really?
It was more, like grad school thinking. Let's discuss themes, papers, whatever, rather than like here's how you actually work in some sort of library setting.
You'd think that that's interesting. I mean, so do you have to have a library degree to have like a library job?
Yes, to be a librarian, you have to get a master's degree. So that's why I went. It wasn't because I wanted to continue being a student forever.
Right. Yeah.
But that's what I thought I wanted to do. So then I got back to New York after that time, and I started doing burlesque.
So what was that? 2 years, 4 years?
That was 2 years, from 2012 to 2014.
And what was it like living in Dublin?
It was great. I had the best time. And then on the weekends, I could travel around Europe, Ryanair and all the budget airlines for really cheap. So that was part of why I wanted to study abroad also.
Wow.
Yeah. So I could go, I went around Europe on the weekends for cheap and stayed.
Were you performing yet or?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because now I would think like if you were there, you'd just be everywhere performing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could have really made use of that. But no, I was just trying to be a librarian. And I worked in a pub there.
Well, as you do in Dublin, I imagine, right?
Yeah. So that was great. And then when I came back to New York is when I started doing burlesque.
And what year was that around?
I came back in 2014, but I've been doing burlesque for about 8 years. So a little after that.
Yeah.
So
the timeline lines up with when we met. I met you. Well, the first time, I don't know if you remember what I'm going to ask you. Well, first, before I get into that, I wanted to show the flyer for today. We are talking to the lovely Velvetina Taylor, and usually underneath people's names on my flyers, I have a parentheses with like what they do or what they're from. And I didn't do any of that for you because you do so many things. I didn't even know where to start. So do you want to just briefly tell everybody, like, how would you describe what you do? Like if you had to put yourself on a flyer like this.
Well, I always say I'm a burlesque performer, producer, singing MC, motorcycle enthusiast. So any combination of those things. In most of my shows, I'll do all three. I'll host,
Yeah.
sing songs, and do a couple of acts. And then when I tour, it's on the motorcycle. So I'll ride
Yeah.
every day, and then I'll get to a city and do a show. And sometimes I'll sing. But, in Memphis, I host the show and sing with, it's live band burlesque.
Right.
Like singing with a band at the same time. And then there are a couple of guest performers.
Geez, I just went on tour for a couple days in a band I'm in sometimes, Green Jelly, whatever you want to say. And I drove between venues just in a car, and that was exhausting. I don't know how you go everywhere on a motorcycle and then perform and have the energy. It's just very impressive.
Well, kind of leading up to it, what you're getting into. It feels like you have to really gear up for it, pun intended.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's funny too.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of know, I've done it since 2016. Like once or twice a year, I'll go on a long distance ride for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks at most, where I'll stop along the way. So I kind of know that the demand of that week or 2 weeks or whatever going into it. So I really try to just appreciate it as it's happening.
Yeah.
And you
I definitely see, I have seen all of the, I used to edit little movies about your trip. So I would see everything that you do. And it's just like, you're against the elements. And many times I see these stories about you, like in these life-threatening motorcycle situations with the weather, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, the hardest tour I just did was around Texas. That was the most
Let's see some motorcycle photos.
Yeah.
So the last one was the most challenging, you're saying?
Yes. It was 2,400 miles in a week and a half around Texas, all the way to far west Texas. Marfa was the furthest point, but I got off the highway and was on kind of state roads for some of it. And when you get out there, it's so desolate. You're really faced with your own limits. It rained a few times, and that's a difficult thing.
Yeah, because if you're especially if you're moving into it, like I've been on a roller coaster when it started raining, and it was like hitting your face like bullets,
Yeah.
But then there was no line, so you still want to do it again just because you can, but it really hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a life-changing thing to complete for sure. Because when you get out there, you're completely alone, and the decisions that you're making based on the weather and stuff are like such high risk, or not high risk, but high stakes. So yeah, I mean, once you're out there, you're really alone, and you have to. There's no like, if there was an issue, or if I fell over or had a problem with the bike or whatever. There's no one around, or there's no like Walgreens to stand in. There's no.
Yeah, you're just like in the middle of a desert somewhere, or some like abandoned highway.
Yeah, and then you go through a town and you barely know you went through it. It's like one exit with like a cement building that may be abandoned or maybe not.
Right.
So,
yeah, cement is not going to help you here.
Or like a trailer or something. Right. And so if you'd have to really fend for yourself if it came down to it. So yeah, and there's no like airport or Uber or anything for hundreds of miles. So it was scary to be alone doing that. But then once you do, you have these moments of like, just looking at it's awe. You're in awe of this
Mm-hmm.
country and the vast land. And when the sun is out and there aren't any problems, it's unbelievable, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so you're very present to like, you have to look out. You're not like in a car, passenger car, where you can kind of nod out a little bit. You have to be
Yeah,
very present. I'm sure you're seeing like all the landscapes and taking it
yeah,
all in.
yeah. Yeah, you have to be completely focused, like full body,
Yeah.
and kind of worried about where the next gas station is.
I was gonna say that. Did you ever like have any gas shortage scares? Like,
I
geez,
did.
they
I
can't
did.
they can't carry too much gas at one time because it's a smaller vehicle, right?
Well, I learned my lesson because, everybody says like just stop for gas
Mm-hmm.
when you can, even if you don't need it once
Mm-hmm.
you get that far out there. So I thought that I had another town to pass through, but my gas light was on, and there wasn't another place for
Oh
another
no.
30 miles or whatever. But luckily, I was able to get to the place with the gas light on, and I don't know how much I had left,
Was
but
this was the past tour as well?
yes, yeah, it
There's
all
another
happened
one.
then.
Oops, that's something else later. Well, hey, let me show. I have when is this from? This is from 2018, I guess, right soon before you left New York, right? Um, I did a promo for one of your motorcycle tours. And the other good thing about showing this is it's kind of like just a very good intro to you and like all the stuff that we've done as well.
Yeah.
So let's check it out. Live editing. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Velvetina Taylor. I am a burlesque performer, host, and producer of many shows here in New York City where I live. But this August, I am going on my 4th long-distance tour on my Harley Davidson, the 2018 Pistons and Pasties Tour. This time, I'm going to be going from New York City to San Francisco, straight through the middle. On my last 3 tours, I documented everything myself, but this time, on my longest ride yet, I want you to feel like you're riding along with me. With your generous help, I'll be able to provide better videos along the way so I can share what I'm seeing, what I'm learning,
Guarbar.
what I'm meeting, the amazing sights I'm seeing. The route is going to actually take me right through my hometown of Indianapolis, where I never miss the Indiana State Fair. I'll be riding all through the desert and mountains, things I've never seen before that I'd really love to share with all of you. I already have dates booked for the tour for classes and shows all along the way, teaching classes in confidence and facial expressions and performing burlesque for people that may never have seen it before. But the most important part of this tour is my message of self-empowerment and the confidence to follow your passion and sharing what I learn along the way. These tours are really the most meaningful thing I've ever done in my life. Burlesque performance and motorcycle riding have become such a part of my identity, and I would love to continue to take these trips and bring you along with me.
It's kind of like your life in a nutshell, huh?
Yeah, but I feel like it's funny watching that. I feel like so much has happened since then. I
We'll
mean,
have to make a new one.
yeah.
Although I loved it, just that was a way that I could kind of incorporate all the other stuff that we've done together into like one little promo video.
Yeah.
So, and that's a song that I wrote about 20 years ago that has still not come out. So I forgot like how rocking that was.
Yeah.
And it won't get me kicked off of YouTube because it's my own song. So how
Yeah,
about
or
that?
me for both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to see that. I mean, I've just done I feel a lot more experience in my
Yeah,
shows and stuff. So like,
I guess it has
sometimes
been like 4 years ago. You know, the pandemic just seemed like one long year for like 3 years, but that was actually like 4 years ago.
yeah, but I mean, some of the footage was from a year before that or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like I was, a younger performer then.
Yeah, do you think was it cringy to you at all, like seeing
It's just
you?
a little embarrassing, especially to.
Oh no, which part was embarrassing?
No, no. I mean, it's fine. I think just hearing yourself talk and stuff on
Yeah,
camera is funny.
yeah,
In
that's
that,
true.
I'm not really performing. Like it's okay when I see myself on a microphone, like hosting live, and there's
Mhm.
video of that. But that's kind of me, like talking right to the camera.
Yeah, yeah. But
So
it's like the whole motorcycle thing, it's like the perfect uh I don't know, balance of like grit and glamour.
yeah, well, I think that's kind of the two sides of me or many women, I don't know, many people. It's like you're not like burlesque is so ultra glamorous.
Right.
We all understand that it's not like that
Yeah.
all the time, but I'm also proud.
Oh no, disappointing so many people right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Well, actually, some people are like, they live all the time, like that kind of pinup style in daily life and stuff.
Mhm.
But I am also proud of, covering some miles out on the highway, like getting
Yeah.
dirty. And, I used to in those tour videos, like wear makeup and stuff. I'd
Mhm.
like do my makeup or at least a little.
Yeah, I love that clip of you like doing your makeup like
Yeah.
at your motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, now I'll go ahead and post like I won't do that anymore. And I'll go ahead and post like no makeup on there because it's
I
just
love those too.
kind of accepting, both sides of that. It's like I don't feel the need to do my makeup for the Instagram videos when I'm
Right.
riding. And then, then later I will for the shows when I get there or whatever. But no.
So when did you get into so I don't know anything about motorcycles, but when did you get into motorcycles and start riding and
So it was never like a family thing. Like it wasn't in my
like
family
passed
to
down to you?
not at all. And in
Right.
fact, my whole family is always like very,
Like where
very
did this come from?
worried
That's
about
like
me.
music and me and my family. Like me and my brother, they don't know where we came from.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was in 2016, I think, or like
Mhm.
right in, I think it was January 2016. I did motorcycle safety school in New York. And I didn't think at the time that it would. I just wanted to get my license and like see if I could do it.
Mhm.
But then it really was so meaningful to me, and that it was, the mode of transportation on these tours, and it became like I got so much out of it. But it was just kind of a decision that I made to try to get my motorcycle license by going through this kind of driver's ed style
Interesting. So you
school.
weren't like like a teenager like into motorcycles and stuff at
I
all.
mean, I thought they were cool, and I am, interested in counterculture, like reading
Sure.
Hell's Angels books and whatever, but as much as the next guy, but I didn't think that I would be
Be
like a biker.
Yeah, you're a biker now. How do
Well,
you feel about that?
I feel good about it. I feel good
Do you
about it.
fit in with the biker bars and do they
Yes,
accept you and
yes,
everything?
they do. Yes,
Are
they do.
they have they ever encountered a burlesquing biker before?
I'm not the only one that rides a motorcycle, but I've always had a great time at a biker bar or whatever. I don't do a ton of motorcycle events, but
Right.
because I prefer like the solo rides.
Mhm.
But I've always had a good time because it's kind of like that kind of counterculture, whatever, like bikers, burlesque performers,
Yeah.
nightlife weirdos,
And
and I
and
feel the
I'm
most
guessing
with that.
bikers like the burlesque aspect of it too, or
I think
does it
so,
like
from what I
surprise
can
them?
tell.
What's that?
I said from what I can tell, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I recently did a show here at a biker bar that was, you know, that they hadn't, it was like a neighborhood place in Tennessee, like just a little, it's still in Memphis, but like, 15 minutes from the heart of Memphis. But it was like a neighborhood biker bar. And I kind of didn't know what to expect, but everybody had a great time.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. And I got to ride my motorcycle onto the stage, which
Oh,
I always wanted to do, but
that's awesome.
it never worked out because I would be told like, okay, this is the night that you get to ride on stage, and then like I started hosting or whatever. But there's always some little curb, or like I can't fit through the door or something.
Right.
So that's never happened until last month.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw Rob Halford do that once.
Oh yes. Well,
Yeah.
I'm in good company.
But
Then.
he was playing in like an arena, so
Yeah.
once you're in the arenas, it'll be no problem.
Yeah. Then they'll build a ramp for me.
Exactly. So then how did you get into burlesquing? Because this wasn't a thing you did until you came back from Dublin, you said?
Right. Yeah.
Did you have aspirations to it? Like what led you to that?
Well, I had seen a show, and you actually know this person. One of the performers I remember seeing in the audience was Betsy Propane. And she's actually coming to Memphis in October to do my show. So we've
Tell her
seen
I said hi.
Yes, I will. So I saw a couple of shows in New York, but I didn't have any aspirations to do it. And then my sister and I took a class.
I think I've met your sister too, right?
I think you met a couple of them.
Oh, okay. You have a couple sisters.
I have 4 older sisters.
Gotcha. I've met at least 1 or 2 of them, I'm sure.
Yeah. So my sister and I took a Burlesque 101, the New York School of Burlesque.
Right, sure.
Class years ago, and she was like, "Oh, that was cute, that was fun," But I was like, "Oh, I loved it," and I wanted to do more and more. So I started really going to shows, and then performing and producing like right away.
Yeah, do you remember your first performance and where was it?
Well, it was the student showcase.
Right. What about after that? Oh, was that at the Slipper Room?
I think yes, yeah. The first performance was at Slipper Room. Yeah. And it was the student showcase.
Yeah, I've been to at least one of those when some other friends of mine did that.
Yeah. I've been to some of them like before COVID. And it's so cool to see everybody's first time doing it.
And everyone's, very supportive of it, and everyone feels good about it.
Yeah.
That's like the important thing, especially like if you're new to taking all your clothes off on stage, like you need a supportive audience.
Yeah. Well, you could hope so. But yeah, so I did the class, and it kind of combined things that I already loved. Like I said, I was previously I was teaching ballroom and Latin dancing.
Oh yeah, so you had a background in dance in general growing up?
Yeah, I mean, not since I wasn't like seriously training since I was a child or whatever, but it was, I'd been teaching and then went to school or whatever, but I had some experience and some lessons in ballroom and Latin dancing.
Gotcha.
But so I wanted to compete in ballroom and Latin. So those types of costumes,
sure.
That kind of like performing like dance and that level of costumes. Like,
I can see how those wires can get crossed.
Yeah. So I already loved that, but I was kind of priced out of competitive ballroom dancing because it's, you really have to invest in training, like having an actual trainer. You have to depend on your partner to be as committed as you to competing.
Right.
So there was like a lot of barriers there that I just wasn't serious enough about, but I still loved that. so I had that. Then I also have always been kind of crafty,
Right.
and interested in that, in little crafts like crochet and knitting and clay and whatever,
Mm.
making little dresses in middle
Okay.
school and high school and whatever. But so it was kind of all of those passions combined, and then you could also self-manage.
Hmm.
I really liked that.
Right.
Yeah, so then I started producing, and I felt like I
Was that
wanted
the Vixens show, or did
no,
you
this
do
wasn't
something else before
Vixen.
that?
That started at the Skinny.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
so wait, what was the first thing that you produced?
that.
Okay, that was that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's stop right there for now because that is sort of on my timeline. Let me go back now. Do you remember? I don't think we met this night, but do you remember the first time that we came in contact with each other? It's
No,
okay if you don't. It's kind of
I
like
don't. It just seems
it's
so
a gotcha
random.
question.
Yeah.
Um, it was actually the Original Sin Cider poster
Yeah.
girl contest at
Beauty bar.
uh was it at Beauty Bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at Beauty Bar. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I forgot I did one before this and it was at the Double Down Saloon. But you weren't at that one.
No, that was my first time on stage doing anything like that.
What did you do that night? Because everyone had like a talent section, right? It was kind of sort of like a beauty pageant type of
I don't think we had
thing.
to do anything. I think it
Oh.
was just different categories of clothes, like
Mm-hmm.
costumes. There was like a swimsuit. There was a, you know, like an evening gown or something, but it was pretty casual.
Oh no,
And
my video is
actually,
not working. Yeah, keep going.
there were a couple other contestants in that pinup contest for Original Sin that I later got to know, like because we were doing burlesque. Pearl Staley was in that too.
Yeah, I think so.
A couple other people that I later was like working with and didn't realize, I was like so nervous. And I didn't even have to do burlesque or sing or anything in that.
Right. Man, I had a video of it of my promo for it, but it's not working because it's the wrong
Wow,
file
I don't think
type.
I've
So
ever
I'm trying
seen
to
that.
look it up online. Oh no.
I don't think I've
So
ever seen a video for that.
really? Oh
I don't
wow.
think.
Now the pressure is on.
Wow.
Let me see if I can Google it and bring it up somewhere. What's this? Yes. Live editing. So was that before you ever did a burlesque show, or was that around the same
No,
time you started?
no, that was the first thing I ever did, and then after that was
Wow,
doing.
so I saw the first time,
Yeah.
except for the showcase, I assume, right?
No,
Or was
that
this
was
before the showcase?
that pinup contest was the first thing.
Wow, total ground floor here.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
the
I got
first.
it.
You found it?
Yes, I found it on YouTube. Thank God.
Oh
Because
wow,
it's funny
I've
because
never
most of these
seen that
videos
before.
that I make for people, like I don't post myself, so I don't really know where they go. I
Yeah.
can't keep track of everyone's social media. All right, let's see. 2009? No, okay, 2014. Yeah.
Oh wow, so I just got back. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, September at Beauty Bar.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, I was at your first thing. There you
Oh,
are.
it's me. Oh, I'm
Wow.
so young. I have such a baby face.
There
Oh,
you are too. I think you look the same.
do you?
I do.
Oh,
You're
that's
ageless, Velvetina.
That's me.
Yay. You never saw this?
I don't think so.
Oh wow. Yeah, I used to do a couple of things for the guy who owned Original Sin.
Okay.
I haven't seen him in a while. I think the last time I saw him I was at a bar with you, actually.
Yeah. No, and he was like, "Oh, I remember, you know."
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, that Dandy. I didn't know she was in this.
Yeah, see, you probably know people that you didn't know yet.
Now, yeah, this is so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I forget
So
who.
your 10th year anniversary is going to come up soon in
Well,
2024.
yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's right. I wouldn't really count this as the
Right.
first burlesque anniversary, but this was the first thing I ever did.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So then do you remember when we actually met? Because I remember I was doing, what's this? Something auto started. I was covering an event. I guess somebody else couldn't make it, and they were like, "Oh, I know of another video guy. He could cover it."
Mm-hmm.
And you were also working at this event, and then that's when we connected because it was like, "Oh yeah, did the original Sin thing."
Was it a Bastille Day?
Yeah.
I knew it. Okay,
The
yeah, that
the
was.
one and only time I've ever been to this place, Urbo, in Times Square.
I don't know if it's there anymore.
Really? I wouldn't be surprised. I guess I was in Times Square last night and I don't remember seeing it, but I wasn't really looking for it either.
Yeah, it was like a second floor thing. It was a really nice place, but I still work with Prohibition Productions.
Oh
But
yeah?
at that point, I was just kind of I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was just walking around in costume or something. I was not.
Oh, this one has the same problem. Let's see if I can find it online. Damn it. I should see, I didn't test all my videos today.
Yeah, and I wore like a little French outfit, like a beret and a. I remember it was like a black and white skirt. But that was, I think I did like a go-go set or something, but I still wasn't doing burlesque at that
Really?
point.
This was still before burlesque? So this was in
So it was, I hadn't been booked.
July 2015.
I don't know if I had done any acts yet, or if I was just doing like go-go and ambient, walking around in costume or something at that point. This is so long ago. It just seems like it's been 1,000
Well, I think you
since then.
I'm not sure if you did any kind of performance thing, but I know you had like your own little table, like you were, I don't know what you were doing, something, selling raffle tickets or something like that.
Maybe raffles.
Maybe something like that.
Some odd job, yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh man, I really wanted to show this video. That sucks. Let's see if how quickly I can upload it to YouTube. I wonder if they ever even posted this. I don't even know.
I don't know. I mean,
So
it's too far back.
Yeah, I know. And if it's even still there, I'm gonna try to upload it while we're talking. Okay. So yeah, so then tell us about Velvetina's Vixens, right?
Well,
that was the first show or did you started burlesquing a little bit before that first?
It was very soon after I started that I started producing because
yeah, you were right in there.
Well, my thought on it was that, there's always been, the feeling that, New York was saturated, if not oversaturated, with burlesque performers trying to work. So I thought coming out of the New York School of Burlesque that I would create opportunities if I was going to take up another spot in the scene, kind of. So that was my about it. I really wanted to do a good job. It wasn't just like, let's just, see if this works. I like wrote little lines and jokes and like structure for it and tried to do a good job even.
You did.
And I tried to hire people that I respected, and that I thought would be like a good show, not just me trying to, like be a little baby performer.
And that's where I came in.
That's right.
I wasn't on stage, but I was off stage.
Yes. yeah, you were always the first person I called for video work for any of
I
this
very
stuff.
much appreciate that.
Yeah. So Velvetina's Vixens started at the Skinny upstairs.
Yeah.
There's currently
Right.
a show there
Right.
upstairs. Olive Tuparty is producing it.
Okay.
There's the Skinny. The everybody there is still good friends of mine, even after all this time. So
That was a
that's where it
nice
started.
place.
Yeah, that's where it started, and then it moved to Pink's,
Kings, yeah.
and then it moved to
Which was basically just on the floor. There wasn't really a stage there.
yeah, it was like a
It was
floor.
very punk rock.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what that show was supposed to be like.
Sure.
And then it moved to Beauty Bar
Beauty bar, yeah.
room, and that's where it.
Where we first met, sort of.
Yes, that's where it stayed.
Back full circle.
Yeah, that's where it stayed until the week before COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember that was one of my last shows. It was like March 11th or something. It was a Monday night show. And then I had maybe a couple other shows, and then it was COVID. So that was the end of it. And then I ended up moving
Right.
after that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that wasn't the only show that you produced, though. What other shows did you
No, there were
produce?
so many others.
I know, because it seemed like every couple months you were like, hey, I got a new show happening here.
Yeah.
And it's like it's, similar vibes, but a different spin on things.
Yeah, it was really growing and growing. I mean, everybody that's performing in New York, you have to perform a lot if that's your full-time job. If there's not like another source of income.
Sure.
If you're doing burlesque, you have to do so many
I see these schedules. They're like going and burlesquing like almost every night.
Yeah, so I was producing a lot. And then I had this kind of residency thing that was 3 nights a week. Right. That was the last show I did before COVID. So that had just started, and we had done that for like a year.
Which one was that?
That was at Mr. French.
What was the name of the show?
It was just like, I think it was just burlesque at Mr. French, because it was a dinner. It was like it was a restaurant.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there.
And then that came back when you were able to have indoor dining again. We started doing that. But then I moved, and it was tough. I mean, any of the shows after quarantine were like a struggle because they had the partitions up. Remember?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I did go to a show at Bowery Electric like that, and it was just like we were all in like these little pods, like watching a band play, and it was just super weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, and it felt like we shouldn't really be there, any of us, So it was kind of scary and weird. So it didn't come back to its full glory before I left. Before I moved. So yeah.
Well, guess what? I got the Erbo video uploaded.
Oh, let's have a look.
I don't know if it was ever finished, really, because it says this is my guy, rough cut, no copy, but I won't play the audio. But I liked this footage. I was really happy with some of these shots that I got.
So great, and all the swing dancing and the bands.
Yeah.
So good. And that's Prohibition Productions. I'm actually going to be working with them in October.
Yeah, what are they doing? In Memphis?
No, in New York. I'm going to come.
Oh, yay. Nice. Is it going to be at Erbo?
No, I it's not confirmed yet. So
gotcha.
They haven't confirmed the event, so we'll see. We'll see if it goes through.
Yeah, I felt so out of my league with all these like dancers here.
I mean, it's so fun to just see people dancing.
It's such a different culture than what I'm used to, which is great. I can kind of fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, these people are really serious about their dancing, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, and it's always the perfect music for that style of dance, and people just like have so much fun. And it's harder and harder to find places to dance, like
Mm.
this, like a certain style of dancing. You have to like really seek it out.
Yeah, because you don't, I mean, it's kind of a fancy place. It kind of, you know, represents the vibe as well.
Yeah.
You're in here somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yeah, I think I was just doing raffle tickets or something at the drink tickets, maybe at the door.
Yeah, something like that. So I think you took over for someone else. It was like a shift.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
There you are.
there's me in my little beret.
Yeah.
Wow.
Proof that you were there.
Yeah.
God, you must have so much costume pieces in your closet.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And there's a little more space for it now in Memphis than in my little.
Okay, yeah, that's true. New York, you're living in a shoebox.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Is that it for you in this video? I guess so.
I'd be surprised if I was in it anymore. I had kind of a minor.
Yeah, you had a minor role, but this is where we connected and you were like, you know what? I'm going to be putting on a show. Are you available? I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Let's do it. Oh man, she was fun. Look at all those people.
Yeah.
I had no idea Bastille Day was such a thing.
Major holiday.
Yeah. So I think the next event that I started working with for you on was the wine tasting.
Oh, right.
You remember this one, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, gosh, it's such a trip down memory lane. Yeah, these are like, God,
This was a cool place in Brooklyn too, right? Or it was like right at the edge of Manhattan.
Yeah, it was like right by the bridge.
Yeah.
Off the F, I think.
It sounds about right.
Something.
So oh yeah, it's called Velvetina's Tasting Room. Tell me about Velvetina's Tasting Room.
So, I mean, it's so funny to talk about these. It's like
these videos should work, so let's try it.
Okay.
You can tell us about it though. I figure we'll run some commentary.
Yeah, it was like a partnership with Velvet Lounge.
Oh yeah, that was a perfect naming.
Then they would bring in like a liquor sponsor or wine or whatever, and somebody would come and like a representative from the liquor company would do like,
wine tasting, kind of like lessons on how to drink your.
And then we brought in the live band. So this event was with Prohibition Productions, who put on that Bastille Day thing. So it's some
all
of those
connected.
Yeah, because I worked with Patrick Soluri, who's in charge of Prohibition Productions for years, and still am, hopefully. Hopefully that event goes through for Halloween.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so much happening in New York around Halloween. It's hard to catch everything.
Yeah. Oh, this was fun. Yeah.
Oh, there's Lucy, right?
Lucy Buttons and Lillian.
Yeah, I did a couple of these for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that one might not work. I gotta check my file types.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, this was a cool place. I loved the live band. It was definitely brought something extra to the atmosphere.
My favorite. Yeah, and that's what I get. That's what I'm doing in Memphis. It's all live band, because there's so many musicians to choose from that are so great.
Do you have like a general house band, or does it change up like week to week?
Well, I have a weekly show and a monthly show. The monthly show changes every week, or I'm sorry, changes every month, the band. And the weekly show is mostly the same house band, but if those people are out of town or on tour or whatever, then we have, other.
Yeah, they're all professionals. They can kind of jump into it.
So many great musicians, like working professionals and recording and touring, and it's like a respected career here because there's a lot of work to go around.
Yeah. Speaking of work to go around, I think it might be time to run an ad.
All right.
Because I gotta give love to my sponsors, and my sponsor is me. I am my own sponsor. So let's see. Let's run one for my new album that's coming out.
All right.
That's not it. That's for the end of the show. But it is going to be on the album. Where did I put the album? I think it's this one.
And now,
No, that's the old one. Uh-oh, I'm all over the place today. You know what? We're going to do one for... You might be in this one. VonEsper Studios. No longer in Astoria, but still available for all your New York City area needs. VonEsper Studios, that's original music as well. If you ever need music for anyone out there, for your podcasts, or, you know, everyone needs a theme song, right? Do you have a theme song, Velvetina?
Maybe the videos that you've
Yeah.
done.
Good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
So let me go back to Beauty Bar. This took me forever to find. And I think...
What is it? I'm scared.
I'm scared. No, this I think is the only photos that I've ever seen with us together in the photo.
Okay.
And it's not from the night you suggested. I couldn't find a picture from that of us, unfortunately. But maybe you have one deep in your archive. I popped into one of your shows, and this character got me on stage and was doing some scary things to me.
Yes.
So it looks like. But that's a shame. We need more pictures together.
Yes. Yes. Someday soon.
Yeah. Maybe when you're in New York. And I got a banana. That's the picture from after the show.
Yes, that was your prize.
It was a squeeze ball banana.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I know I had that hanging on my wall for a while. I'm not sure if I still have it. I'm sorry, but it was a prized possession for a while because it came from Velvetina Taylor. And you used to, I want to show physical things. You used to do these like postcards and stuff at all your shows. And that's another thing that was like so impressive, that you are always so prepared. You had like postcards for your guests. Some of these have personal messages on them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like makes everything so much better. I don't know. What can you say about how did these come up? You know, it's just another thing to add to your
Yeah.
charm, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to give people a reason to come to the show and to
Mhm.
feel appreciated that they did come. So I
Yeah.
gave thank you cards to those audience members in those early shows. Yeah, and then the people that I hired that night, I'd write like a little note on the back, and I'd
Yeah.
give them their money.
Yes. No. Should I read one? Or
I don't know. That's
is
personal.
it too personal? I was wondering. Yeah. I mean,
You
let's
could
just
read
say
what
they're
you
very
want.
nice. They're very nice.
Yeah,
But it's just between us.
it's
Uh,
yeah.
and I actually found a flyer for the pinup contest, if you could believe that or
Wow,
not.
cool.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then this was another one.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Oh, and I'll get to this one. There's another item that I'll show in a little bit.
Okay.
Where do I want to go with this? Oh, we talked about the motor. If anyone else in the comments has any questions as well, here we go. What motorcycle do you ride?
It's a 2016 because I bought it new when I started riding and when I was going to go on my first tour in 2016 from New York to New Orleans and back. It's a 2016 super low 1200T. It's a Harley Davidson. And I knew, from even the idea of wanting to ride that it was going to be a Harley Davidson for me. That was the goal. When I first started, I got the smallest motorcycle you can get. It was a Yamaha V-Star.
So you've had a few already.
Just one.
Okay.
And that was my starter bike. And then 3 months later, I traded that in for the brand new Harley, which I just paid off. I just paid off last month.
Congrats.
Yes. So I own it outright now.
Wow.
But yeah, that was my dream bike. And when I tried to take it out for a test ride from the dealership, it felt so heavy, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to ride this. And not in a million years could I ride this. So I didn't get out of the driveway of the dealership because they're like, just take it out, go around the block, go to that stoplight, make a right. And I'm like, I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
I can't even get out of here without just tipping it over. So it took 3 months, and then I got my big girl bike, and I went, and then I left town. It was, pretty soon that I went on a long road trip. I got my license the beginning of the year, and then my first tour was, I think it was that summer. I think I bought the bike in June and left in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then speaking of going back to the videos I would make for your tour, I guess we compiled one into like a movie of sorts or a short film.
That was like,
and so I have, these aren't my professional style photos, but these are photos from a screening.
Yeah,
right?
that was a flip room.
It's a little blurry, I'm sorry.
They do movie Mondays, or they did. I think they brought it back, but anybody could like submit their short film or whatever, and you could do like a screening and then answer questions about it and stuff.
Yeah, and so we watched a little screening of that, and so okay, I do another show. This is a segue to self-promotion. I do another show on Fridays, Phantom Fridays, about the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh.
Do you have any favorite Phantom of the Operas? And this is relevant, trust me, I'm going to circle this back in.
What do you mean? Do I have any favorite?
Yeah, like favorite Phantom movies, or I don't know. What's your favorite version of Phantom of the Opera? Or do you have any connection to that?
What is that? Yeah.
You don't have to.
No, but what is that? I'm just thinking, what is that movie that's like, it's like an 80s it's Phantom of the Quest.
Paradise?
Phantom of the Paradise? Is that what it is?
The glam rock opera
Yeah.
one? Yeah. A lot of people
That's
say that.
my favorite.
Yeah, because it's
Grand
kind of like
film.
I think it was from the 70s actually, and it was
Yeah.
just predated Rocky Horror movie.
And who was the that man that was like in all kinds of talk shows? And
Paul
then
Williams?
yes.
Yeah, he wrote The Rainbow Connection.
Yes, that's right. And then
And
he had,
lots of other songs for big artists like the Carpenters and stuff like that.
yeah, and then there was a documentary just about him.
I need to watch that. Yeah.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great.
It's called like I'm Still Alive or something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
there was like this guy that was a big fan of his, and he made a documentary, and he like tracked him down, and they met.
That's great.
It was
So this is relevant because did I lose my slide? Oh no. So that night, well, hold on, let me do my little theme song. Guess what? I found a phantom that night. Found a phantom, found a phantom, found a phantom. So I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but one of the stars of another short that was being played that night alongside our motorcycle film used to play Phantom of the Opera on Broadway.
wow.
He wasn't there in the audience. I think the director was, but I was just like, oh my God, there's a phantom in my movie night. So that was very cool.
There were some great little shorts that night.
Yeah, and there was there was one about people who lived like in the middle of nowhere and I don't remember, but they had all these weird little things. I don't remember. It was cool though. I wish I could credit those artists.
Yeah.
So I think this is the last thing we did before you left.
Yes.
Oh, well, you might have left already because this is a Memphis thing,
No,
right?
that's 2019. That's
right.
I came here in 2019, but I still lived in New York. I just didn't go here.
Right. Yeah, you were traveling back and forth at this point.
Yes.
So tell me about Velvetina, because this is something you actually still do, right?
Yes, that's this Saturday, in fact.
We have the flyers coming up. Yes, we will promote all your shows.
Yeah, I have to get that in there.
Yes.
So Velvetina's Blue Moon Review started in 2019. Okay, at the time, I was doing a lot of shows in New York, and I didn't know what would be like the next step for me, for my career, what I could do that was bigger than, having some shows and performing in New York. So I thought that it would be the next biggest thing that I could do would be to have a show simultaneous to performing in New York in another state, in another city.
That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, it certainly was. It certainly was. It really.
But the venue, I remember you sending me videos of the venue. It was like this whole like house basically, right?
Yeah, and people in Memphis know it. It's not open to the public anymore. It's a private event space currently, but it's called Molly Fontaine's. And so I found it just by searching online, just dragging around Google Maps for like bars, music venue of a certain size in Memphis. So there are a lot of reasons I wanted to come to Memphis, but because one of them was it's cheap. It was a lot cheaper than it is now, but it was inexpensive rent. So I thought if I had a room in New York, I could have a show that would kind of pay for lodging in Memphis, because it was like $700 for a 2-bedroom right by the venue. Wow. So the show here in 2019 was 5 months, spring and summer, and it was 3 nights a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then most every week I would fly back to New York and do shows the other 4 nights and then come back and go back and forth for months.
Jeez,
it's exhausting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it was, and I was trying to get the cheapest flights because I didn't. The misconception maybe is that I had some financial backing, or somebody had hired me to come here and do this, but it was all my
DIY
own risk. Yeah, financially at my own risk, and luckily, the local press and blogs and stuff, and the local audiences, and then some tourists really got behind it here. And I tried to make it look like it was an established show before it arrived. So I was like taking to Memphis to meet people and like promote. And I hired my usual graphic designer to like make a really nice looking.
Let's put that back up there, right?
Yeah. So it looked like it was this established show that was just coming to town, but really it didn't exist until it got here. It was just me talking about it. And I had like a poster and a description
and a video.
And a fabulous video, yeah.
Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, am I embarrassing you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I think it's great.
Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Woo!
There it is. I loved doing this because usually I'm only filming you on stage.
Yeah.
But I could finally, like, you know, there's only so much you can do standing off stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yay, it's still running. Is this your longest running show now then, or?
Well, I guess you could say that. Because
And we filmed that at the Slipper Room.
yes. It was supposed to, the idea was I would, you know, kind of make an impression with like this 3-night residency every week in Memphis. And then I would pack up, go back home full time in New York. And then I would come down to Memphis like 3 or 4 times a year and just try to like sell out a 1-night event because people were already familiar with it from being here for so long. And then if it was like a more exclusive, you know, like a 1-night only thing, that was the plan.
Yeah.
And I did come down and do it for Halloween and then for Christmas in 2019. But then I had my flight booked for like a summertime show or like springtime, but then that was 2020.
So COVID happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then when I moved here in February 2021, when bars started opening again, I wanted to resume, you know, the show that people knew the name of from even, and honestly,
branding.
Yeah, I didn't think they would still know anything. I thought it would be like long past, long forgotten from 2019 to 2021, you know, but people came back and it's still some of the same people supporting it and the same like locals. And yeah, now it's at a place called B-Side here.
Ta-da.
Yeah. And that's this Saturday.
That's this Saturday. If you're in Memphis,
Saturday,
Tennessee.
The Sheiks are playing. They're a really great local band that I've worked with for years. They actually played for the show for one of the months in 2019. So we're getting the gang back together.
Oh, yeah.
And then Raven from Nashville, Ethel Lovelace from Louisville, Kentucky, our debut spot, Doll Eyes from Hot Springs, and then Matt Holtzclaw is coming in from New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you always have a debut at these shows, or is this a special one?
That's what I've been doing lately, yeah. It's like somebody, you know, because people see the show here in Memphis and then they want to be a part of it. And it's kind of like, you know, a paid audition, or some people look at it like this is my first time doing something that they want to take more seriously. And other people just want to see if they can do it, or like, you know, just surprise their friends.
Yeah. Is there a big burlesque scene over there?
There are shows. There are performers that have been local here that are now in my shows, and they have their own productions like coming back after COVID and stuff. But yeah, the weekly show that I do, it's usually at least like one local, one out of towner, week after week. So
Yeah, I see some people come and visit you from New York often too.
yeah. It's always so great to have people, from New York down, because they're like my old friends, old friends, and
the original crew.
Yeah, and to kind of show them what I'm up to, and it's really like quality time, because when they come, it's for 2 shows. Like they can double up the booking for the weekly show on Friday, and then the Saturday monthly. Or so yeah, that's this Friday.
That's the one. That's tomorrow.
Yes, that's tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, downtown at Blind Bear.
And who's performing at this one?
That's Ethel Lovelace. So she's coming in town for, the 2 shows. She'll be doubling up. And then Felicity Fox is from Memphis. So, So
awesome.
Yeah, and it is, like I was saying, it's quality time when old friends, like performer friends from New York, or Ethel was here in 2019 also. But then they stay the whole weekend, and we can kind of go do a Sun Studio and show them around Memphis, because you can certainly see a lot in just a couple nights here.
Sure, yeah. And then this is coming up on Sunday. You got a packed weekend.
Yes, so this is the weekend that all of the shows align. So I do a show every 2 months in Little Rock.
How far away is that for you?
That's 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Do you ride your motorcycle?
No,
No.
And it's so funny you say that, because the venue has been like, when are we going to see this motorcycle you keep talking about? And I'm like,
right.
Well, it's not really worth my while, because usually I turn around and come back. And so I'd be riding on the highway out in the middle of Arkansas, in the dark. And I don't really, I don't really like to do that.
Right.
So like
so you're not staying overnight there.
Well, sometimes I'll stay overnight, but I can just drive my car.
Right.
It's a lot easier also in packing. Like if I'm not on a long trip, to kind of strap in my bag on the back seat and like make sure I have everything. And for that show, I'm hosting also. So I do like 5 costume changes and 2 acts. And I bring like all these props and whatever. So it would just be like too hard to just ride for no reason.
And then this is coming up later and this is next month, right?
October, yes. So
getting into Halloween time here.
Yes. So this is like in Wilmington, North Carolina, there's like a brand new bar that's opening called the Eagles Dare. So these performers, that's Olive from New York. She's coming down. Yeah. And then Mika LaCreme and Pearl Van Dammit are coming in.
That's a great name.
Durham, North Carolina. And so that's a new place, but I love like the look of it. It's perfect for me. It's kind of like,
I love the name too, Evil Queen Cabaret.
Yeah, because they're doing a pop-up in the room where the show will take place called the Poisoned Apple. For Halloween. It'll be like all, covered in Halloween decorations and stuff. So we're going to do the show in there. So Poisoned Apple, Evil Queen.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that'll be like a one-off, but hopefully that will happen every 4 months, like 4 times a year, maybe.
Great.
Yeah. So it's fun to have these productions.
Yeah, all these different shows, all these slightly different themes. And
I do feel like from leaving, I lived in Manhattan and stuff, and there is some more freedom to move around now that my rent isn't so high.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to like do as much performing as I was, but it's kind of spread out. Like the show in Little Rock, for example, I'd never been to Little Rock before I was based here. And then it kind of opened up the other little cities and towns around Memphis that I'd never been. I did a show, like a a monthly production for several months in Jackson, Mississippi, and New Orleans is only a 6-hour drive.
Okay.
And Nashville. I've done
Nice.
some shows in Nashville too.
How far away is Nashville?
That's 3 hours.
That's
So
not bad.
it's hard to do in one night though. So I
Yeah.
have to stay over, but it's
Right.
nice to like have that open up. It's, being based in another part of the country is like, then everything around me is new too.
Yeah, I don't miss living in the city, although I like that I'm close enough where I can visit when I want to.
Yeah. Well,
And now I can drive to New Jersey or wherever else I want to go,
Yeah. Yeah, it's it feels a little like more freedom, even though I miss a lot about living in New York, and I never thought I'd leave, but here we are. And I still try to come back like every 3 or 4 months. So I'll be back in New York for a few shows Halloween weekend.
I'll try to catch one. It's going to be a busy weekend.
I'm sure. Well, it's nice. It's nice to see that busy,
Yeah, no, of
There are a
course.
lot
I
of
mean, New York City,
holidays.
Halloween, it's just like everywhere you go.
That's why I
Everyone's
wanted
having
to
their
come
events.
back.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween and New Year's Eve were always my busiest nights of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Well, I can't make this show. I'm going to go to the Philly show a couple days beforehand, but as with their usual tradition, Guar will be playing at Irving Plaza on Halloween night.
oh,
And I wanted to hear about your trip to the Guar Bar on tour, because I've never been there and I need to go there one day.
well, it's pretty cool. I mean, that was,
Probably 5 years ago. Something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I went in there and actually that was a fun time. I went in there, and on these tours, I really don't know anyone. I just kind of roll into town, and then
Right.
I'll like sit at a bar alone and like kind of
Yeah.
beg to make friends. So I met these people there, and I was like, "What do you suggest I do today?" And it was a cool bar. I mean, the bartenders were nice, and I saw this girl. I don't even remember her name, but we stayed in touch kind of on Instagram. But
Okay.
she had green hair, and we ended up going. I got in the car with him, which is, you have to take certain risks, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We went out to this.
Stranger danger.
I know, yeah, but she was like this young woman. So we went out to this place, and it was like a beautiful view. It was on some lake, some bar, and yeah, I remember. Yeah, I mean, we had a great time.
That's great.
New people. It's always nice meeting new people, and then you kind of tell them what you're doing, and they're like, "Oh." Then you have some, they're kind of like
Adventures. It's always
yeah,
adventure.
they kind of wanted to know what I was doing, and then I said, "Well, I'm riding around the country. I'm riding around the country on my motorcycle, and I'm only here for one night." And then people kind of want to show you their town.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you picked the Guar Bar. I remember now it comes back to me when I was editing that. I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
let's-
I mean, I don't really I feel like an imposter sitting here. I don't really
No,
know
it's okay. I mean, that's part of the Richmond, Virginia culture now,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. And
that's
I
the
thought
place to go.
Yeah, it was so cool. There were a lot of and there was another bar there that was like a haunted house almost. It was
Oh,
like
really?
there was stuff all over the walls and ceiling. It was like it looked like Beetlejuice or something, but it was like a horror theme.
Nice.
I wonder if people know what that is. I'm
If
sure
anyone out there, Jamie in the comments.
it was like horror themed bar in Richmond, and it wasn't Guar, but they had like it was really cool.
Let's see if I can find it. Richmond.
Horror haunted house. It was like movie, like horror
Horror
movie
bar.
themed.
Wonderland.
Yeah, yes.
That's it? Yeah, first try.
Yeah. No, that place was really cool.
I see. Yes, cool.
Yeah.
Let me show everybody. Let me put it in my share screen. Wonderland.
Yes.
Let's hope it's still there. So there's another place I gotta visit when I go to Richmond. Take my pilgrimage to Richmond.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I assume it's still open.
Yeah.
But there was kind of like a punk scene there that I didn't really know existed.
Currently?
Well, when I was there, at that bar, and then at Guar Bar, and there were kind of, I was hanging out with some
punk rockers. Yeah, I guess that's the kind of people that would go to Guar Bar, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Probably like their local punk metal bar.
Yeah, it seemed very like punk metal scene. Or maybe that's just who I was hanging out with. I don't know. But it
could be a little bit of both. I mean, I think Guar definitely has permeated the culture a little bit there. Yeah. Like they've been around for almost 40 years now, so.
Yeah, and they have a house and stuff there.
Yeah, they have like that's where they're based and everything. The slave pit, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't go to their house, but I heard stories,
Yeah, that's where they make all their show costumes and everything. And I'm actually, oh man, I don't have my flyers up, but I'm actually starting a YouTube show starting early next month about Guar called the Guar Pod.
Really?
With original art by the co-creator of Guar and everything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think, well, just stay tuned at Guar Pod on Instagram. Go look it up.
Wow, you definitely gotta go there then.
Yeah, I know. I gotta make a pilgrimage out there. I gotta do it right though, so I'll figure it out.
Far. It's not really far. It took.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 hours probably from here.
Okay.
I think, maybe, but that's doable. I'd probably stay there at least for the night, but.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see. Let me run some flyers for myself. Tomorrow's Phantom Friday, and I don't have a job, so I'll be live. We're gonna do Phantom of the Opera Book Club. We're gonna cover Chapter 2. So join me. Same place, same time tomorrow on this channel. And then next week on this show, Jane Jensen. Have you ever seen Romeo and Juliet?
No.
Oh man, it's a great trauma movie. The movie company Trauma, like the Toxic Avenger and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of their most famous movies. Lemmy from Motorhead is like the narrator of it. It's a Romeo and Juliet parody, of course, but the punk rock. Anyways, the star of that movie and musician who's coming out with new music tomorrow, Jane Jensen, will be on the show. So don't miss it. That's going to be awesome. And then I'm really excited about this. And then I'm going to play I found my ad for it. Welcome to my pity party, my new album. I'm going to do a virtual listening party on this show Thursday, September 22nd. So please join. And also, eventually this is going to be a video album. So if you would like to join the video album, come dressed up and join the video. I'll have everyone muted while the music's playing. It's only about a half-hour album. Come and be part of it and celebrate it. And then if all goes to plan, it should be out on Spotify and everywhere the next day. So that's the plan. My album will be out by the end of the month. It's got Brian Figlione from the Dresden Dolls on it, and Imani Coppola and Abby Death. All sorts of cool people. And with that, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right in about 2 seconds.
Roll up. Welcome to the pity party.
Welcome to my pity party. Everyone's invited. Celebrate your misery. Apart but united.
I'm okay with taking hits, recording hits. Now you know who I am. You can't unhear this song.
Hope you enjoyed the pity party. Be safe.
Stay tuned for the next album, where it will all be fine.
There you go.
There we go. I'm excited. That's taken me like 2 years longer than I thought it would take. But the good thing about it is I started all this music during the pandemic. That's why the genres are all over the place, because I didn't write it for any specific project. And then
Yeah.
I just kind of collected it all together. So I have about 3 30-minute albums worth of material, and I've developed it all at the same time. So the next 2 albums will be much quicker to get out, because most of it's done already.
Yeah.
So I have some random pictures for my slideshow, and we'll see if it provokes any conversation. This one, the first one, I'm sad that I never got to see this live. But tell me about this epic performance piece that you have.
Yes. So that is my burlesque act called The Lonely Gargoyle. And so, okay, I'll go into it.
Sure, let's go into the gargoyle.
Yes, it really meant a lot to me, this one. This is probably my favorite, and then certainly the most transformative.
Hey, Raquel. Wow. Let's
Hey.
talk about after the show. Thank you.
So my favorite city is Paris, and I've done a lot of solo traveling on the motorcycle and just by myself. And I've been to Paris a few times because I just love it. So I went to the Notre Dame and their gargoyles up top, and I was feeling particularly lonely. And I thought about, from that vantage point, to look down on families and crowds and stuff. And it seemed just kind of alone, like a separation. And then I started to feel that way when I was just working so much, performing, where you're with a crowd of people every night, but there's this separation, and there's a loneliness to that.
Is that the same thing here?
Yeah, so that's what's under
the helmet.
Yeah, and I kind of break away
the armor
pieces, and
that looks like it's very difficult to bring on the subway.
Well, I would kind of dog tie it, because the wings are made of foam that's just painted on like a wire frame. It's like a backpack, and then it has a wire.
Did you make those?
No, I got them on Etsy, but they were
great.
Custom painted, because they only came in black and white. But I asked the designer to make it look like stone. So she kind of did like silver tips, and it was gray.
Looks great in black and white here.
Yeah. But it really looks great in person. It looks heavier than it is,
Mm-hmm.
So, they kind of roll into each other, and then I would put like a long shoelace around it.
Oh, wow.
But it's still like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, it's
I would
huge.
just on the subway, or you can kind of squish them into a trunk of a car. So I'd get in a cab, and they'd like,
you're like, what the hell?
Me. But yeah, they're pretty portable for considering how they look,
Did you go to the opera house when you were in Paris?
Yes.
Yo, so there's your connection to Phantom.
There's my Phantom. Yes.
I never been there in person.
I love it there, and it really, like, I went there as a grad student, whenever I could, and I would even go for like 1 or 2 nights or something, because the flight from Dublin was not very long, and it was they'd have all these deals, so it wasn't that I had a ton of money yet again to find this, but it was worthwhile to, like, just be able to walk around and spend €1 on bread and cheese or something, and just like, enjoy being there.
One day I'll make my pilgrimage. First I'll go to Richmond and then Paris. That's my trajectory. Yeah.
In the Opera House. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, these are just random, I don't know, just classic Velvetina.
Yeah, it's so funny to see these. I mean, because
are these old?
That I'm embarrassed. I mean, not of this photo. That's a great. I like that photo, but the older videos and stuff. Like, I do my hair and makeup differently, and I feel like my face even looks so different, even in the last 5 years, I guess.
Yeah, these may be totally out of order. Yeah, so these are all. See, like I said, you're ageless to me, so.
That's like, I would never wear that hair.
Really? You don't like this haircut anymore?
No, I mean,
how long ago was this?
That's the first photo shoot I ever did. I mean,
wow, really?
Photo, nothing to the photographer, because she's actually a great photographer, but that was the first Velvetina photo shoot ever. So I'm kind of like,
I didn't know that.
Because that hair, I mean, that's, I think, yeah, I mean, that's like, I always wear like a hairpiece. Like, this is my natural hair now, but in the shows I'll wear like a half wig or, whatever. So I do it a little.
So these are really old, huh?
These are like, these are.
Don't worry, I have modern ones in here too. I just didn't know the timeline here.
My baby photos or something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these are from that same photo shoot.
Oh my God, you did a lot of looks in that photo shoot.
Google?
From your Facebook or your website?
You went way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little more recent, but still, those were some of my first photo shoots. Oh boy, yeah, that was my very early. Okay, now we're getting
into modern era. Yeah, no, there's some new pictures in here too. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, that's another Prohibition Productions event. With the swing dancing and stuff.
Where was this in Memphis or in New York?
No, that's in New York.
What bar is that?
Beer House.
Oh.
2nd floor.
I don't know if I've ever been there.
That was an original Blue Moon promo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks. The color scheme is right. Yeah.
Yeah. For all that marketing.
What's this Montauk Club?
Where is that? That was.
It says Montauk Club.
That's in Brooklyn.
February 2018.
Yeah. February.
Classic Renaissance style hair.
Thank you. Yes.
Wow, Raquel, do you have my number still? Text me, because I lost all my numbers with my old phone.
Okay, that was.
What's going on here?
That was in Memphis, and I kind of partnered up with this tour guide thing where they would pick you up in a classic car and then drive you around, and do like a tour around Memphis to the different spots in Graceland and Sun and Stax, maybe. I don't know where all they went, but all these tourist drop-offs, and they would like kind of tell you about the city and history and stuff. So I was able to use one of their cars for the promo for Blue Moon Review. But that's what I mean. Like, I made all these partnerships before the show,
right?
Before the show even started. So it seemed like it was like this.
That's a smart way to do it, I'd say. Exactly. You got to build hype,
Yeah. So that was great, and that's kind of why I felt that Memphis was already a second home in moving here.
And that's my blue too. That's my color.
Yes.
So I relate to that. Is this old? This is another old one?
It's older. I mean, you can kind
Older.
of tell.
Your
I've had
evolution.
bangs. I've had bangs for a few years now, so it's kind of like this is my forehead era. Oh, this one I
There's some
love.
black and whites,
I
yeah.
loved this one. That was a
I just picked out what appealed to me. I don't know.
yeah. No, I mean I'm not saying any of these are bad. It's just
Okay, good.
the older photos and
Yeah, sure.
about what I
We
was
got to
doing.
embarrass you a little bit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was in Memphis. That was kind of my mom saw this photo and she's like, "Oh, you're really channeling Elvis." And I was like, "Okay, maybe just the pose, but
Mhm.
that was my 2019 in Memphis."
Powerful stance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the photographer actually told me to do that with my hands.
Ah.
Because he was saying that rappers do that pose to show off their jewelry.
Oh.
Their
Do you have lots of
rings.
jewelry on? Yeah, you kind of do.
Kind of, but I mean,
Yeah.
you do that when you have like valuable
Sure.
diamonds. That's exciting. Yes, that was
Yay, an exciting one.
well, they're all good.
They're all
The
exciting to
exciting
me.
one. Yeah. This was in Havana, Cuba.
Oh, good. I wanted to talk about that.
Yes. So I went to Havana in 2019 with Dee Dee Lux, a performer friend of mine, a nightlife, a highly respected nightlife performer, and Tony. Oh, there we are. Yes. You did this video.
Yeah, I made this video for you.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
So
Yes.
you went to Cuba.
Yes, and
It's the first time they've had burlesque in Cuba or something like that?
years, and it was illegal to do. So they
Right.
could have
Yeah, I was a little worried for
started
you.
us away. No, but see, this was the most exciting. This red room kind of thing. We kind of got up onto a couch
Uh-huh.
and performed right in the middle. But it was like all these young people that were just out dancing, and we kind of, Tony, who is a journalist and author, had written a book about, Havana and Cuban history. So he had been there and was the perfect guide for us to all three go and do this show. It was amazing. I mean, I don't know if I could have gotten around without Tony kind of knowing how to get a driver, how to get a phone.
Yeah, of course. You definitely need a local guide there.
Yeah, you really, well, we really did, especially to try to perform and put on any kind of show. It was friends of his that owned the bar. And then the first performance was at this kind of underground magazine for artists and stuff, that it was like a communal workspace. There were like, woodworking and painting and all this stuff happening in that. You could see it in the video. It was like it looked just kind of like a gymnasium room, or like a very bare bones place, but people were working in there like on creative endeavors that may not have been a little rebellious,
Right. Yeah. Did you feel like danger at all, or were you pretty safe there?
Well, kind of.
Was the audience very receptive?
They were kind of silent. I mean, they didn't, because you're not supposed to, there's like no strip clubs or like pornography. You can't have that in public at all. So we actually had to leave on, we couldn't do pasties. I left on this kind of mesh rhinestoned bikini. Yeah,
that's it, right?
Yeah. So we could only go down to that.
I mean, it's still pretty revealing.
Yeah, which was the point. It was like,
it's like technically I have to do this. Yeah,
but it was really exciting, and I had never been there, and it was so cool to see like how the young people were living. And I was even talking to these clothing designers who had like a store, but they were saying that it was so limited in how they could get fabric in to the country. So they had to like account for everything and like say what they were doing with it and not have a surplus of their allotted amount of fabric even. So it was really interesting, you know, to see, and especially like the young creatives that we met that would have been at a place like
Could you
that.
communicate with them well, or?
I mean, yeah. I mean, people spoke English, you
Okay.
know. So yeah, I mean, it was difficult to get around. It's like, you know, winding cobblestone streets and stuff where we were staying. So yeah.
You
So
gonna go back ever, you think?
I'd love to, but again, I had to say, well, I don't know.
Well, don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't get anyone in trouble, but we
Yeah.
had to be there for a reason, and
Right.
it couldn't be to perform.
Sure.
So we said something else. We had another reason to be there.
Sure.
But so I don't know if I could finagle my way back in. I don't even know what the rules specifically are to
Right.
get into
Well,
Cuba.
either way, that's like pretty amazing and
Yeah, it was a real
it's crazy.
milestone. You know, it felt like
Yeah.
a really
International.
yeah. Very
All
exciting
right.
time.
I think some of these are characters. Well, who is this character?
This was no, this was just me, but this
I
was
know, but
going to Deadwood. So my last year, this was supposed to happen in 2020, but it was rescheduled for this past year. Deadwood. So I watched the whole series on the HBO series and the movies and stuff.
yeah, I never saw, but I know what it is.
Yeah. So Deadwood is a little town that's like 20 minutes from Sturgis in South Dakota. And Sturgis is where they have the, the biggest motorcycle rally, or I think it's the biggest in the country, or maybe it's in Daytona, or so. I don't want to get that wrong. But it's a big motorcycle rally every year in Sturgis. But Deadwood was what was of interest to me because it was like the original lawless, gold mining or gold panning even town where they like prostitution was legal, gambling, drinking. There was no law.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so that's the history of it. And prostitution was actually legal until 1980 there.
Wow.
We had brothels, and the gambling is still legal. So I wanted to just see if I could perform in Deadwood and ride up there during the rally when there are, 100,000 people in this small part of small town. So I didn't want to go into Sturgis because, again, it was like I'm not into like big packs of group rides and like really crowded spaces on a motorcycle. So I made kind of a deal, kind of arrangements with this hotel casino in Deadwood, like right on the main street, that I would come and sell my little merch and pins, and I would sing these kind of Western songs and do burlesque in the casino floor, like in the casino area, like twice a day for a few days. And they were so great. First of all, to agree to this, when nothing like that was going on, there were no other burlesque shows happening. They had live music and stuff in some of the other bars, but so I kind of just contacted the tourism bureau of Deadwood, and it was fun to be watching the Deadwood series,
right?
Binge watching it at the same time that I was kind of communicating with these people. It felt like I was calling the past, I was like, because these places, have such history that is still
infamous.
Tours and it's where Wild Bill died and Calamity Jane and like all these figures of mythology. So
did you feel like the energy?
I did. And I did all the tours that they had to offer, like during the day, in between my shows. And it was this moment where I was just by myself, as a theme in this story, I guess. I was by myself. I had finished all of my performances for the day. I had my room upstairs. I felt like and they had these posters of me in the casino.
Oh, cool.
So to arrive that far away from where I lived in Memphis or in New York or whatever, and see like me on this poster
Wow.
was so surreal.
What photo was it? Do you have any photos of the poster?
It was yeah, I could find it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it
Yeah.
now, but
But
maybe post it on your story later.
yeah. So then
So, everyone go subscribe to Velvetina and all the
Yes.
places down below.
down below.
Oops, that's the wrong one. There you go.
So then I was playing, a slot machine. I had my free cocktail for the night, and I was sitting there and I won like $20. I think it was $20, and it was like the machine was exploding. It was like really,
Oh, wow.
it was like yay! And then I saw on the slot machine itself, the digital screen, that it was like a photo of me. That it was like,
What?
come see Velvetina, and I was like,
Oh,
could
wow.
this day get any better? It was so fun to
That's so cool.
just be there, really be there.
See, I had no idea about this story, and I'm so glad I
Yeah.
picked that photo out.
Yeah, and it was funny because the photo that was on this machine, this slot machine, was a photo that I had taken myself
Right.
in my living room a month before.
That's
But it was
funny.
just it was so surreal to be there, especially what I had just watched, the whole series of like the history of it. Oh, and the casino where I performed, it was such an honor to be there because it was the original site of what was it called? The gym saloon or whatever, the gym theater.
Somebody help in the comments.
It was Al Swearengen's from the show, and in history, it was his business. So it was like the first.
It was all connected.
Yeah, it was the first theater in Deadwood. And it was like a main hub of like gambling and prostitution. So it was like, that was the site where I was standing and staying, and, so it was really exciting to be there. Especially after what I had learned about Deadwood, and it just seemed like such a legendary place.
I don't know if this is the same thing, but it's a similar.
Oh yeah, that's also turned into my biker act. Yeah.
This is more modern, right?
Yeah. This was that was in 2019, or maybe very early 2020.
I like this one.
Oh, that was during quarantine. Yeah, that was during COVID. That was my last apartment in New York. I had like a 6-month COVID price lease at 76th in Amsterdam. So it was like a teeny little studio, but it was so nice to be by Central Park during that time. So yeah, I love that photo.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That was the first time I had gotten dressed up in a while. But
landmark.
the photographer was able to stand on the street.
Right.
And,
yeah, you'd have to.
Without getting near me.
Right.
So that I took it myself. That was a Blue Moon promo. But, I kind of try to use the blue color scheme. Yeah, that was
more black and white.
Now that I'm in this apartment where I am now, there's a little more room to do my own photos. So I have like a seamless backdrop, a ring light, and 2 kind of LED lights where I can just do photos myself for like my purposes for promo or just content. Or
it's always good to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, it's been really nice to have the space and the lights, so I can like just get some new photos going.
It's all the same, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Any that anybody sees with like this white background on my Instagram or whatever, it's just photos I took myself. And you may notice that like you can't see both of my hands in all these photos that I take of myself, because I have a little Bluetooth clicker for the phone to take the photos. Or sometimes I'll press it with my foot. Like I was in the second one. See, behind my head, I'm holding remote.
You'd never know unless you were watching VonPod.
That's right. The
That's right. And
secrets.
I'm guessing these are all with your backdrop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we're getting into, this is your trivia.
That's
You
my
do trivia, right?
Yes, yes.
Tell me about doing trivia.
So I host trivia here in Memphis at a few different places. Some are weekly, some are monthly, but I wanted it to be kind of Bob Barker style, Richard Dawson, that he would go and like kiss all the contestants. So I try to make it more like a like game show host.
Yeah, someone give this person a TV show.
yeah. This as a game show host, I would love that. But I have like
pitch that.
I have like a Plinko board for bonus rounds and like cornhole and mini golf, like a golf strip. And so it's like pop culture questions.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it difficult writing questions out all the time, or?
Yeah, that's the
only thing that seems like a lot of work too.
It's so much work. You wouldn't imagine. I thought there'd be.
I do imagine.
I mean, you wouldn't imagine how much time I thought there would be endless trivia websites for pop culture questions, but I'm deep in the Google results for like pop culture questions and answers, whatever. Because you have to really sift through ones that like no one would have a chance getting. Like for example, there are a lot of questions about like in 1986, who won Best Actor at the Oscars or whatever, and like no one would know, and so it wouldn't be any fun.
What are your favorite categories to write questions for?
I'd say movies. The things that come up time and time again are like that you find some themes. There's a lot of like Friends, Simpsons, Star Wars, like the big
Marvel, probably.
Yeah, but then you have to really make them, you can't focus on one topic too much because not everybody.
Unless that's like the theme, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that I don't love writing the questions, but I like, doing trivia nights.
Sure. So somebody go write questions for Velvetina so she can just
all your questions, please.
Yeah. You need like a little. Well, we'll get in.
I have a thick stack of note cards, like backlog ones, because it's not usually the same people that are coming to the different venues. It's usually people that stick with that venue. So at least the monthly ones are pretty spaced out that I can like reuse.
And this picture represents what I was talking about before, like how what I see of you. I mean, yes, I see you on stage and I see you being all glamorous, but I see all the work that you put into this, like before the show, and you're like writing things like minutes before you go on stage. And I thought this really represented that. I don't know who took that picture, but that's how I see you first. It's just like the work never stops, and I respect you so much for that.
Yeah, no, I like that photo too. Andrew Walker took that here in Memphis before Blue Moon Review, where it is now at B-Side. And I'm always like, I write out most everything I say, and I'm always trying to remember lyrics. I'm famous lately for forgetting the words.
That's tough. You're keeping a lot of balance, 3 shows in a weekend. And
yeah, it's now that I'm singing so much, especially with the bands, we don't get like any rehearsal. I mean, and that's pretty common in burlesque. You just like do it, show up prepared the night of, whatever. And you never, I mean, and with a live band doing burlesque acts, there's no choreography really. I mean, you know how your costume works and moves that you do with certain pieces or whatever, but it's all improvised. So now that I'm singing with different bands week after week, it's that's the biggest challenge for me, is remembering the words.
Are you gonna cut any singles? Are you gonna put out a record?
Because
I think you should.
Singing is the thing that I'm like always the most nervous about, and remembering the words and stuff. But I've been doing more and more like singing sets with bands. And I just got back from LA where I sang
Right.
a set with this band, Twang Bang Bang. And I love doing that, but I have trouble like really taking myself seriously as like I'm a singer now,
Right.
or I'm a singer, because I haven't written songs. So I'm not a songwriter. So I feel like, and I don't really play an instrument. So I'm kind of like,
Well, you know some people who produce music, just so you know.
but that's what I mean. Are you writing words that then I would, because then I
I
feel
don't
like
know. We'll figure it out.
yeah.
You know.
So I've been talking about maybe trying to do songwriting and put together like a real band and not just the cover. Like I do 3 songs in each show that I sing, but they're covers for just the benefit and the fun of the burlesque show. But it hasn't really taken on its own thing because I haven't written
Right.
albums
We
of
could start with a
songs.
cover, like a single, you know.
Well, there you go. Well, see, that's what I've
Just
been
an
doing.
idea. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah. And
You got the cover art already. It's like, just take any picture of you ever.
yeah, especially get one of those early ones.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what is this? Are you a referee here?
That's right. Yes. That's my Foot Locker shirt.
Right.
No, that's those are just ones I took of myself.
Yeah. And this is Nurse Velvetina, I'm
That was a
guessing.
nurse. That was at an event here in Memphis that was Love Boat themed, and I was the ship nurse giving out syringes of mixed
Oh,
drinks.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just
That's at this place, Black Lodge. That was a benefit show for our good friend Luna Zool. Like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't
okay.
know. Yeah, but they have a great like the digital screen behind there that you can add. They have
Oh, cool. Yeah.
at that venue.
And I think we're almost done with this slideshow. That's just another
Yeah,
performance shot.
that was at a wedding. That was at a wedding reception, like a wedding dinner that I performed in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Years ago, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna land this plane soon.
Oh, but I do want to say about Mistress Velvetina.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to next.
Okay, great.
Yes, because that's your real like alternate ego character. So let me share the screen and play your most recent Mistress Velvetina video, and then you can tell us all about it.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. Uh-oh, gotta put the sound on. Hold on. It's funny, it pops up before it starts.
Me how to be a good submissive for their mistress. So I'll give you a few tips that not only apply to that kind of relationship, but any relationship as well. The first tip is to put your own mask on before you help somebody else. Think about what you want to get out of this. What specific things were you doing or having done to you the last time you felt your best? And then communicate those things very specifically to your partner as a starting point, because they should want to know what you like. And most importantly, don't forget to be expressive and communicative as all of this is unfolding. Just like the nudes you've been sending your significant other, it's no fun when you don't get a response. So don't internalize those feelings silently. Give us some clues. So first, take some time to yourself. Identify what you like about being submissive and what activities bring those out. Communicate it to your partner, and then be as expressive as you can be as it's happening. And just remember that everybody's different. So there isn't a fully wrong way to be submissive, except if you don't communicate anything, whether you like it or not. That's the only wrong thing you can do here. I hope that helped. Good night.
Communication is key.
Yes.
And so tell me about Mistress Velvetina.
So this was kind of
I have a video of you doing it back even in 2016 about. So this has kind of been going around for a while.
So in different iterations, I
Right.
didn't know what I was going to do with this, but it came about because even before I was doing any kind of performing, I've always had dark hair and pale skin and red lipstick or whatever. So people would approach me and ask if I was like a dom or, oh wow, yeah, this is when it was like a live thing, but
Yeah.
now I don't do that anymore. It's fully living online as
Yeah.
as
I caught the early bit of it.
That's right. Yes, and there was a variety show only
Right.
Mistress Velvetina that was kind of like fetishy acts and weird.
That might have been that show where you had me on stage. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So now it's an advice column format where people ask me a question online through Instagram. Anything they want. It could be about me. It could be about their own, preferably about
Yes.
their own life.
Drop your questions. She's
Yes,
not going to answer them now, but maybe she'll use them
but
for the
it's a
future.
video response, like you saw.
Yes.
So that was a question.
Yeah. I don't know who submitted that question, but they
Yes.
must be pretty brilliant.
But I've gotten some really good questions. And so then I'll respond in like a short video like that, like an advice, column kind of thing. So that's what it is now. And I like that it lives online in this kind of, because Mistress Velvetina isn't a real thing really. I
Yeah.
mean, it's me, but I like the look of it. And because
It's such a unique take on it,
Well,
nobody's doing this. That's why it's like if you find a niche, just like get in there.
it commands authority, that look. And
Yeah, for sure.
and
You got to do something with all these latex pieces in your closet now,
that's
right?
right. That's right. And I do enjoy like the response that I get from people, and I think they like it too.
Yeah.
They like it
Can I
too.
explain a little bit about how it was like about like I don't know when you started doing this like a year or so ago, and
Mhm.
you had like a phone number and a website.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
describe how that worked?
So
Or like how it was supposed to work? I don't know how
yeah,
much
I
it.
think I was just figuring out the concept of this
Right.
because I like this persona, I guess. I mean, it's all me, but I like this angle
Mhm.
because of how people respond. And I do like the kind of the thing that was interesting to me when I would get approached about like, are you a dom or whatever? Yeah, like back in these days, people would think that it was legitimate, like it was a real thing. And the response that I got from people was really interesting to me. When I looked like a certain way in latex and all that stuff. So
All respectful, I hope.
yes, all the time. Yeah, all 100% respectful responses. So I wondered what I could do with that would be helpful to people or beneficial or whatever. So what I came up with during COVID, because everything was digital anyway, online, there was, there couldn't be the live aspect to it anyway.
Right.
I thought that Mistress Velvetina would be kind of this character that lived only virtually, like it was like a computer transmission to you.
Yeah, it was very like matrixy and
Yeah,
digital.
and then it still is, where it's like through social media interaction. But originally it was going to be a paid subscription where you would get a more full-length video with kind of an assignment that you would complete, and then you would text me like a real text message to me.
Yeah.
What you did, how you felt about it, like a life coach kind of thing. And what the term was.
How did that work out?
It was good. The problem was, those videos and the editing and I really put a lot of thought into each.
Yeah, they're well edited
what I was
clips.
saying, you really have to stand behind it if you're getting kind of into these intimate conversations with people. and people were really like taking it seriously, just how I
I
wanted
tried.
it
I
to be.
tried.
Yeah, well, and there were people that like
I just
were
kind of
really
wanted to see how the
into that.
ride was, you know, like
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do this before, so I want to see how it works.
Yeah. So that was the original, more like full scale concept, and there were people that were subscribed, but the demand of the content, creating those, and then like really coming up with these like
Meaningful.
speeches,
Yeah,
full-on
right.
speeches that were like 5-minute videos, became too demanding as live shows came back. But I've always wanted to continue Mistress Velvetina, and I think it's really it's really important to me, because even like, you know, accounts or whatever, like motivational speakers, or there isn't that kind of angle where it's like,
Right. That's why it was so original.
yeah, and I really believe in that, and people have still.
And it flips the script, because like the more common like Dom, you know, script is very like you're worthless. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's like
and
you're the kind of the opposite.
that's what I wanted. Exactly right. Yeah, that's what I was going.
I get bored with the script. Like throw out the script, do something new.
Yeah, where it's and people are more prone to believe this stereotypical like imagery of a powerful woman, like these Dom latex outfit, you know, the whole thing. They respond well to that, even when it's like nice advice.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if it's coming from this person, I'll listen to anything she says.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Even if it's like, you know, something that's like supportive and constructive.
Yes, drink water, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't to be like you said, like belittling or talking down to people. It was meant to be that imagery, like of this, you know, kind of powerful woman that's like untouchable, that's kind of living in this virtual world.
I love this one.
Thanks. Yeah, that's me on this white back.
Yeah, again, like so now I'm looking at like where's the little you know, remote control.
It's in it. Well, I won't give it.
Yeah, it's like a Where's Waldo. Like don't tell us.
Like kind of non-existent almost figure that's like coming to you through the screen, like just to you. It's this personal interaction that's like almost in your imagination.
And so how often are you gonna do this, or is it kind of just going with the flow right now?
Like a weekly thing, because people will submit questions, and there are a few that I haven't answered that I'm planning to.
Yes, go subscribe to @Velvetina Taylor on Instagram.
Submit your questions and
submit your questions. Throw them in the chat room. Let's see if anyone's got any good questions for the mistress.
Yeah, kind of coming at it from a tough love, like no nonsense kind of angle.
Some people we need that in our lives.
Yeah, especially, you know, like that's
plus it's fun. That's like the most important thing.
Yeah. So that's what that's about, and that's ongoing. That'll be like once a week, because it's a lot more manageable for me to maintain that format than the like it, you know. I thought that would be like more all I was doing, but then shows came back, and it was just too difficult. Especially, I didn't want to make it paid anymore. I didn't want it to be a paid subscription. People can just submit questions, and then everybody can see the answer.
Right.
And whoever that helps. And there have been like a good response to the questions, to the responses.
Yeah. The good response to the responses.
It was just people liked the response that didn't even answer or didn't even ask the question.
Right. Well, I think it's awesome. Here's one more. I forgot this little trinket. I have this keychain from your launch party.
Yes. That was the 2018 tour.
Yeah. Wait, I have a video for that, and then we can close this out. Let's see. Launch, yeah. Because this was right after we did the promo.
Oh yeah,
I
this
think.
was 2018.
2018, yeah.
great
January,
trip.
March, April, May, June, July. Cut the audio
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah.
This was at Nurse Betty's,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Well, anything else you want to promote? Like, what's up? Anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to mention?
No, I mean, just that I will be. So there's a weekly show in Memphis, a monthly show, and a brunch show monthly here in Memphis. So if you're ever in Memphis, check me out. Everything is on my Instagram.
Yes.
And then I'll be in New York.
Instagram.
I'll be in New York for Halloween, and then I'll be back in LA in November. I'm looking to spend some more time in LA because that was
Me too. Someone bring me out to LA.
Yeah, come out and do videos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I'll be there in
awesome.
November.
Well, yeah, keep me updated in New York. Are you driving to New York or are you flying here?
No, I'm just gonna fly and I'll be there for 3 nights.
Okay.
3
Yeah,
nights.
you're not gonna have any free time. I'd say, hey, take a trip up to the suburbs and visit my photo studio.
Yeah. No,
Right.
because I'd rather come to New York more often than stay longer. So more frequent short trips.
Yeah, because one thing we never did was like a proper photo shoot.
I know.
And we need to do that, at some point in our lives. Because what have we been working together almost 10 years, 8 years?
From the very start, like 8.
It's all video though. It's almost all video.
Yeah.
So that's sometime in the future, and then we'll do a part 2.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
This
having
was a lot
me.
of fun. Of course. Go subscribe. Go to her website, velvetinataylor.com. It's got all the links. So I don't know if the calendar's up to date there. Check the Instagram for all the latest.
Yes, the Instagram has everything.
And if you're in Memphis, we expect you to be there tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's right.
Right. All right, then. Thank you so much. Next week, Jane Jensen, the 22nd album listening party. And then there's 1 week in between there that I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So it's going to be a surprise to all of us. And I'll leave it with, what should I play next? You know what? I'll play my music video reel. And I'll end it on that. So have a good night, everybody. Come back next week. Come back tomorrow if you want to hear me talk about Phantom of the Opera. And that's it. Bye-bye.